So basically, I'm going to give Hassan $15, and he'll know why. So, and you'll know why at the end too, why I'm giving $15 to him as well.
Hey, I'm sorry for interrupting after I see the stage here, but for questions, I have a microphone here. It doesn't amplify your voice, it's just for sound for the video. So if you have a question, just put up your hand on the mic for you.
Okay, so today's topic is 5 ways to drive more traffic to your website. Number 1 is I want everybody to know that there are some of you that love Pinterest, you use it, and today's talk is going to be like, oh, I already know that stuff, I know that, I know that. So that's what the question and answer part's for. So you can ask questions and you can customize them, and I'll be happy to kind of answer them. But for most of you, you're beginners. Like what Matt was saying, I asked you to raise your hands, and it's like, oh, I don't use Pinterest. Well, I can tell you Pinterest can be powerful, but it's not going to be powerful for every single business. Just like Facebook is good, but it's not necessarily going to be right for your business. It's going to be right for most businesses, but some, it just doesn't work. So first things first is just show me quick hands. How many people actually how many people don't have a Pinterest account at all? Okay, just raise them nice and high. Okay, so I want you to think about this. I have one question I want you to think about. Think about where you were 5 years ago and where the social media landscape was. What did you miss? Really think about that. Where was Facebook then, and how long did it take for you to jump onto Facebook? And because of that delay, what happened? What did you miss? What opportunities did you miss? Because where Pinterest is going is where Facebook already is. The web and apps are becoming visual. Think about it. All the consumption that we are doing now is visual consumption. All the teenagers, they use Snapchat. How many people actually have used Snapchat before? Yeah, so Snapchat, here's the interesting thing. So this is not related to Snapchat, but it relates to the visualization of social media. Snapchat is basically, it's basically image messaging. So I might send you a message, and then it gets deleted in 10 seconds.
Oh my
just like that.
Any of our girls told me about it.
Yeah, so Snapchat is, and Snapchat's been trying to be bought out for ages. Another thing, how many people have, some retail people, how many people have heard of Polyvore by any chance?
Polyvore?
Yeah, Polyvore. Yeah, so the fashion people I would expect to know Polyvore. Here's the interesting thing about Polyvore. Polyvore is similar to Pinterest, but you gather like a collage of like these clothes, and it's designed specifically for e-commerce sites. And if you think people spend money on Pinterest, they spend almost 1.5 times more on Polyvore than do on Pinterest. I'm not trying to tell you this because I'm saying Pinterest is good or Polyvore is better or Snapchat is better. I'm telling you where the future is going 10 years from now. We are visually consuming everything. How many people go on Twitter and notice that Twitter's pictures are much bigger now? Right? Not a coincidence. Why? Because it gets more retweets, it gets more engagement. All those things are happening on Twitter. And here was a media network that's designed to be 140 characters, and yet what's happening is that we're using visuals to get people. We're using the 140 characters with the pictures to get your attention. It's amazing. How about Facebook? Anybody notice the new updates on Facebook and how the articles are much bigger now? People notice that? Not a coincidence. Visual social media will inherit the earth. That is just the reality. It's just the reality. Think about it. Magazines. When you walk when you walk in a supermarket, you notice magazines. When was the last time that you decided to stop and look at a newspaper front page without a picture? Chances are you probably didn't. See, Pinterest isn't just another social network. It's where the future is going. It is the social network that's leading people to discover new things. Even Pinterest, when Pinterest first started, it branded itself as a visual bookmarking tool. What meant that, how many people remember what Delicious is by any chance? Okay, so Delicious was basically an online bookmarking tool. You could, if you had to go from one computer to another, you couldn't carry your bookmarks with you because they were saved on your personal browser. But Delicious allowed you to kind of, I'm going to bookmark this, go to my workplace, load up Delicious, and have all my bookmarks there. And for those that know the story, Delicious, I think, got bought out by Yahoo, and pretty much it's a dump. Right? But Pinterest started off as a visual bookmarking tool. You visit a site, you pin it, and it's saved onto this collection. But what happened was, this is something really interesting. In the last year, They've called themselves the visual discovery tool. It's crazy. Why? Because if you've ever been on Pinterest, the very first thing you're probably going to do is you're looking for something. You're searching. How many people here search on Google? Everybody, right? How many people actually go to Pinterest to search for anything? Some use, yeah. I will guarantee you, give it another 2-3 years, I'm not saying Pinterest will be as huge as Google, but you will see more and more women specifically searching for results on Pinterest. They will search, they are already searching. So what is Pinterest? In my opinion, it is the visual future of what we should expect 5 years down the road. That is what we should expect. How many people, is it good so far? It seems like everybody's kind of engaged. Okay, that's good. Excellent. Let's kind of move on. Of course, it would help if I turn this on. Okay, so for those that don't know what visually Pinterest looks like, this is kind of a gist of what Pinterest is. Right over here, we have some board covers, which I'll kind of explain the terminology. And over here, we see some pins. I apologize if you're hungry and these photos are making you kind of like, oh my God, I'm so hungry right now. This is actually from Food Bloggers of Canada. I did some Pinterest writing for them. So they're a great group. So that's kind of a little bit of what Pinterest looks like. So again, why are people using Pinterest? Number one, they're using it to plan their future. How many women in here, and men, have actually heard or have used Pinterest to plan a wedding? There must be more. So, okay, I can tell you, when I was an MC for a wedding, my friend Camille contacted me, sent me this pin about how to use sparklers for this wedding. So I don't have a picture, but imagine this, this kind of like triangle of sparklers, and people are walking through and they have the sparklers. It's sparkling. It's so lovely, and this couple walks through. That all started from Pinterest. She sent it to me. So people are there to plan their future. They're planning to buy products they can't afford. That's the funny thing. Like, I can't afford this today, but I plan to buy in the future. So guess what? I'm going to bookmark this on Pinterest. They're there to be inspired. People are on Pinterest to be inspired. People are there to discover things that they had never even knew was even possible. There are literally travel places. For example, so my girlfriend is from Hokkaido, and I remember one day I'm surfing Pinterest, and there is this beautiful pin of these flowers, and it's all purple flowers as far as the eye can see. And I go, wow, where is this place? I'm going to pin it, and I'm determined to go there. And by total coincidence, it was in Hokkaido, which is where she's from. The funny thing is, she hasn't even been there herself yet. But it inspires me to go there. It inspires me to visit that place. Pinterest is inspirational. When you get hooked on it, you will get hooked on it because there is endless visual data that you won't see on Google. We process information visually so much more than we do text to discover. Okay, how many people, I know a lot of people haven't seen or used Pinterest. How many people have heard of Pinterest fails? Pinterest fails? Nobody? Okay, good. So you know exactly what Pinterest fails are like. Can you kind of share really quickly what they are?
Like where you do a project and it's like, here's a Pinterest picture and then your outcome?
That's right.
Like
Kind of, yeah. So it's a terrible outcome, though.
Yeah,
Yeah. So basically what she was saying is, what exactly is a Pinterest fail? A Pinterest fail is, I've checked out this pin. Looks really easy to do. Could be a recipe, right? You know, maybe it's Santa Claus cookies. It's like, oh, that looks great. Ends up being, and then you see the Santa Claus end up looking like the Swamp Thing. Everything melts, it's terrible. That's a Pinterest fail. So people use it to discover new recipes. They use it to discover new products. They use it to discover a new lifestyle that they've never knew existed before.